and I wanted to get in a better physical condition. So I started training, and I did my first bike MS 5 years ago. Since then, I've done 2 in Texas. I've done 4 here. This would be my 4th year. I'm not doing it because I'm going through an exacerbation. I'll explain that. But one of the things that happened on that first ride, on the back of on the back of the bikes, they'll usually give you a little label, tag that says, I am riding for this person. They're my MS hero. And I did it by myself, and I didn't know who to write down, so I wrote me. Of course, because I have MS, you know. So, and then all these people would come by and they say, you're my hero, you're my hero. And I said, what are they talking about? I didn't connect it. So the second day of the ride going back, and I said, these people are still doing this. And I'm saying, wait a minute, that's not right. The people that are doing the fundraising, they're my heroes. So when I became an ambassador and I started doing a lot of talk, I always I want to thank the people that are out here doing the money raising. I'm going to do it in a special way. I'm going to give you something to remember. So when you give any of your time, talent, treasure, or your tenacity, I call that respect, because you're showing respect for others by doing that. So when you make your donations today to the team to help support the team, you're showing respect. And so I'm going to help you remember why I'm going to call you all heroes. HERO is actually an acronym. It means help everyone respect others. And you show respect by giving time, talent, treasure, and your tenacity, not giving up, not quitting. So please make sure you support the team tonight. I think, gosh, they're a great team. I like their jerseys. You can see them forever. So MS in Colorado, I usually, when I give my talks, I give a little bit about what is MS, because there's always people in the audience that don't know what MS is. And I even been to many events, so I'll give you a very quick talk about that. I'm going to be hanging around, so feel free to come and talk to me. Say whatever you want. Tell me a story. Don't buy me any beer because I don't drink. But you can buy me the beer and put the donation in the bucket. How's that? So MS is a disease of, we think it's an autoimmune disease where something goes wrong in the immune system and it attacks the insulating tissue around the nerves called myelin. When the myelin is removed, the nerves don't conduct as well. And because we have so many different kinds of nerves and so many different types of nerves, everybody with MS has different exact symptoms. My symptoms are numbness. The only part that I don't have real numbness is like right here, through my right hand. Every place else, there's some degree of numbness. Many other people have other kinds of problems. But when you donate to the society, you're doing something very special to help people with MS. In Colorado, there's 1 in 400 people have MS. I bet everyone here knows somebody with MS. If you don't, you know one now. You know 2, because then you got Joel sitting over here. On my helmet, and you go over and look at my bike, and I invite you to do that, you're going to see about 25 signatures. When I first did my first ride, they have these things called pedal partners. So when you're riding for somebody, they're called a pedal partner. That's who you're riding for. It's your inspiration. I didn't have a pedal partner because I was doing it by myself. But we had this very famous MSer called Jimmy Huga. Jimmy was an Olympic bronze medalist for downhill skiing, and he lived here in Colorado. And he was a big champion of having exercise for MS. And if none of you know anything about Jimmy, you can come over and I'll tell you a little bit more about the story. But I needed my pedal partner. Jimmy was coming and gave a talk, and he signed my helmet because I didn't have those little plaques. So I'm sitting in the room, and I'm looking at all these other MSers listening to Jimmy. And they say, who's going to ride for them? I know most of them can't ride. So I started passing my helmet around. And the helmet, all the signatures you see are people with multiple sclerosis. So I ride not just for me, but for those people that are signed my helmet. So where does that money go to? Well, in Colorado, we raise $1 million through our events. And that money goes to two places. It supports two programs of the society. One is what we call programs. And to me, this is the most important part of it because this is our community outreach. I'm actually, as an ambassador, I'm a volunteer for that program, so I go out and give talks. But the society has lots of support personnel for people with MS. The other part of it goes to research. And the society puts about $40 million a year as the largest private funder for MS research. So you guys, when you do your donation, you're helping a lot of people. You're showing respect. Did you want me to say anything about the bike? You bring it over here. I'm seeing the... So what about the bike? You know, this is a good story as long as we're talking about cycling. Everybody here a cyclist? Well, by the way, everybody thinks that Bike MS is the 150-mile ride, but it's not just that. We also have two other rides that occur up in Fort Collins. It's a 25-mile ride and a 40-mile ride. And the good news, you can do it as part of their team. So if you don't feel like you can do the 40 or the 150, you can ride for the team doing the 25 or the 40. You got a little bit of fundraising to do. It's pretty easy. Everybody knows how somebody can, with a little money, you can do that. So one day I was down really sick with the MS. I was laid up. I'd actually had fallen and broken my arm. I was twice. But I had, my wife and I were at a yard sale before that. I bought this old 1980 Nishiki bicycle. It was pretty cruddy looking. It was really dirty. But I got it for $7. Now that's a good deal, huh, if you do yard sales. And for a bicycle, yeah, why not? When I was laid up, I had this kind of vision. I wanted to be able to tell us the story about multiple sclerosis, and when I go talk to events like this. So I talked to a couple of guys in the neighborhood about helping me do the painting, and I had parts, and I made the parts. I got the parts. So the painting was donated by two different people, and I'll tell you their names. I'm going to tell you that now. So the story is this. On the head up here, on the head tube, is a neuron. And this is part of what MS is. This is where it's in the brain. It's in the nerves. And coming down the side, down the forks, and down the back is a synapses. And on the synapses is where the myelin is I told you about. And so it's the dark, kind of represents the mystery of MS. We don't know what it is. We're not sure about it. There's no cure. And people live, it's a lifelong disease. The good news is it doesn't kill you. The bad news, you got to stay in good health like everybody else. So the orange represents kind of like the colors of society. It's for all the people that are the heroes, doing their donations and their time. And the white represents knowing that we're going to find a cure. We're going to have that dark mystery solved. And then on the tubes are three words: live, ride, believe. So we live to stay healthy. We live to make that we may overcome every day our challenges from the multiple sclerosis. Ride, exercise. It's all the equipment. And believe, like you, and you're going to help me believe because your donations are going to be part of that. So the bike just tells the story. The seat was donated by a buddy of mine. That's a $100 seat, by the way, from Specialized. So, and the wheels are from Specialized too. They were donated. Any other questions about? Oh, the pedals. The pedals are really cool. If you look at the pedals, when I first started riding, I could not keep my feet on the bike. And I knew that if I had the cages, I would fall over right away. Because my feet flail, I don't have a lot of feeling in my feet. So I really wanted to ride. So I said, I got to come up with a new kind of pedal. And this pedal is what I call an angular momentum pedal. And if you look at it carefully, there are two rubber stops. And those stops go on the inside, on the insole. So if your feet turns left, in or out, those rubber stops help push it back in. This bike, it's something that's not in... It's an ADA pedal. I did win a prize for it a few years ago at the Fort Collins Bike Show as being the best adaptive device. So, thank you. Thank you for showing the bike. Let's see. Joel, are you ready? It's Joel's turn now? I'm tired of talking. You had a couple more things. Oh, my goodness. Okay. I'm going to be around. Anybody who wants to talk about bicycling, Bike MS, fitness, or money, I'm here. Okay. Thank you.